وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الْوَدُودُ. Very powerful. Now Allah is basically addressing everybody. He's turned to His messenger, but now the address is to everybody. And He, that same Allah whose seizing is strong, who will bring you back the way He brought you back the first time. That same Allah, Allah gives us two of His names. What are the two names? Al-Ghafur, Al-Wadud. This surah, unlike the previous surah, is about recognizing the akhirah through Allah's names. Through Allah's names. And through Allah's power. You know, if you believe in a God, but then you say there's injustice on the earth, there's tyranny on the earth, how can this God let this happen? Right? How do you fix that? How do you fix that belief? That, you know, what kind of God do I believe in that lets all of these horrible things happen? You must know, number one, that His seizing is what? Intense. Don't think He's not going to seize. Don't think He's not going to bring back. إِنَّهُ هُوَ يُبْدِئُ وَيُعِيدُ. And those who are being oppressed, maybe this is a means by which they will be forgiven. وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ. Maybe their oppression was a ticket to their paradise. Even sickness is forgiveness for us. What to speak of oppression at the hands of non-Muslims who only oppress because the people believe. Right? So this is one maghfirah. But not just that, al-wadud. Now al-muhib, the one who loves. Al-wadud, who loves intensely. Who loves passionately. Who loves with great flame. A flaming love. An inflamed love. An engulfing love. This word here is really important because the surah is about oppression. The believers being oppressed. And you know, the first thing that you lose sight of is God's love when you're being oppressed. When you go through a difficult time, then the thing that creeps up in your mind is God doesn't love me, He loves others. Right? He doesn't love me. When your father, for example, doesn't give you money, he gives your other brother money, what do you think in your head? My dad doesn't love me as much as him. He gets favored more. What did the brothers of Yusuf a.s. think? Right? أَحَبُّ إِلَىٰ أَبِينَا مِنَّا. He's more beloved to our father. But forget the father, we're talking about the Lord of the worlds. When you start having hard times in your life, the thing that crops up in many people's mind is He doesn't love me. Allah doesn't just say He loves, He says He loves intensely. And He forgives, and on top of that He loves intensely. وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الْوَدُودُ. So this is His love. But then, you know, if somebody shows you extreme love, someone you hadn't known, somebody you didn't acknowledge, you became their friend and they show you extreme love. You appreciate it. But when you realize that they're a really high class, like they're way above your grade, they're some very high profile person, then you realize, man, how lucky you are to get their love. So Allah doesn't just tell us that He is the one that loves extremely. What does He say next? Who is He? ذُو الْعَرْشِ الْمَجِيدِ. He's the possessor of that noble, glorified arsh. He's not just anyone that loves. He is the possessor of that arsh, that high nobility, the highest possible nobility. That's the one who's willing to forgive you and love you. So what it brings to the heart of a believer is just this awe of Allah, this honor. Allah loves me, now I can handle any problem. Because I'm earning the love of Dhul Arsh al-Majid, of His love, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This surah is about possession. As-sama' dhatil buruj. This al-Wadud, Dhul Arsh al-Majid. Dhu also, possessing. Possessing. And then an-nar dhatil waqud. This is the style of the surah. The fire possessing fuel. The sky possessing the stellars, these forts. The Lord possessing the arsh. Possession is a theme that runs across this surah. So Dhul Arsh al-Majid. The word Majid is a very powerful word in the Arabic language. Now Allah Azza wa Jal mentions His name, Dhul Arsh al-Majid, and then lets us know, you don't put conditions on Allah. You don't decide when Allah helps, when Allah doesn't help. Why is Allah doing this? Why isn't He doing that? I think Allah should do this. Why doesn't Allah help the Muslims right away? What does He say next? فَعَّالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. SubhanAllah. He does over and over and over and over again. Fa'al means, this is from, it's a mubalagha, it's got takrar in it, repetition. He does over and over and over again whatever He wants. Whatever He wants. You cannot put a curb on Allah's intent. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. As much as He loves you, know that you cannot put conditions on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can beg Allah. But in the end, we should know فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. Despite His intense love, despite the fact that He is that high above us, from that nobility, and part of that nobility is He does whatever He wills, whatever He intends.